Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios. I'm your StockMiner, Brian Johnson. We had actually finished everything finished today in the red by like nothing. Pretty much flat. Dow Jones definitely flat. S&P and Nasdaq down a little bit, but nothing broken in here, guys. From the bull side, what were we watching? Remember what we were watching? We were watching for a break, first of all, of this 50 period moving average here. I guess we got a retest. You can call that a retest. Pretty close. Close enough. All right. And no, it didn't go anywhere. So pulling right back in. This blue line is held very nicely. We got the bust above it. And on the Dow, came back now to come just below it. And now we've come back up to kind of retest the underside of it. But as always, Dow's just a lagger. It usually takes it a while to get this monster going. But look, overall, guys, nothing broken from the bull side here. Yeah, it was kind of fun to see red candles for a change today, but they didn't go anywhere. They didn't take over. There was no heavy selling coming into the market. I see Google was talking about bank shares push Wall Street indexes lower. Okay, yeah, you're right. I mean, the banks had somewhat of a move down today on the financial side, but they were, and probably, well, looking at it, they led the way today. They were down the furthest, but just weren't down that much. I mean, still not a lot of fear coming into the market. VIX was up a little bit today. I think it did finish up today too, but it didn't really move anywhere as well. More or less flat or so. So you can see here from the daily that we're still pushing this upper area. Yeah, putting in these little doji candles. Look at this. You see a little bit of familiarity happening here? Yeah, so do I. So when is it going to end? I don't know. Look at how long this thing went up. Maybe we can still push to new highs before we finally see a top and start to topple. Really watching once again these lower areas that we've been talking about for the last few days. More aggressive, maybe now below 11,000 on the Dow if you want, but I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. I'm really staying out of the indices at this point with any kind of major trading, whether it be long or short. I'm not doing any kind of major trading one way or the other in the indices. I'm going to still do my stocks up and down, but the indices themselves, I'm just going to let them work themselves out and let them figure out for me which way I should be going. So let's watch these lower levels. If we can get breaks back below this area down in here, and that's about that 10,900 area, okay, game on. Maybe the bears are in for a little bit of a bigger pullback. If you are a more conservative trader, that is absolutely what you need to be watching for. NASDAQ on a 60, look at this. What is this? Nothing broken from a bull side. This is just yet another pullback. Yes, this looks like a very nice, so far, forming a very nice bull flag. Bull flags are bullish. So waiting for that break up and over and out of this, and that happens to be where? Oh, I don't know, right around that 2060 area. One of those areas we were watching for some resistance at. But if we can break upwards, as long as it stays up here and the bears stay out of the market, bulls are in control. Still working it. You can see it tried to get back above that area today, pulling back down by the end of it. Really flirting hard with this upper level here. Trying to find the bears are trying to find some grip up here to to move this thing back down, put in some sort of a double topping pattern maybe. It's got a long ways to go to confirm a double top, but this might at least slow it down for a while and give us a pullback in the markets, giving us opportunities to look at what the next major move is going to be. But you can see here, trying to hold for 1-2 days, but as long as it stays up there, it's bullish. It's just going to turn into yet another high base. Coming into the end of the week, let's see if this area will hold by the end of tomorrow. That's the candle close that the bulls are looking for. Something up and over 2060 by the end of the day. SPX on a 60 did, look what it did. Came up, moved back down, and the banks drug it right back down below the blue line, and then at the very end of the day retested the blue line. That's exactly what the Dow's doing. So yesterday the S&P was slightly stronger than what we had seen the Dow doing, but now they're all kind of in the same area. Broke the blue line, came back down, retesting it from underneath. Still looking for pushes back below here, guys. I really kind of like it back below 1154, the more conservative on trading aspect. As long as it holds here, though, look at how it's holding this area up here, this 1170-ish area. Okay, we had a move back down below it today, but we couldn't close there. Bulls pushed that thing right back up. So As long as it stays consolidating up here, it's just the same story, different verse. It's a high base, still bullish, looking for pushes back above that 1180-ish mark. Can start to make you maybe again, short-term bullish. I'm not going to be. I'm going to sit it out and wait for a more major break one way or the other. I'll continue to play the stocks. If the markets move up, I've got some stocks I'm playing right now that are moving up very well, very well. And I don't have any interest in the indices right now from a long or a short period. You can go ahead if you're an ETF guy above 1180, maybe back below this 1165 mark. But they are a little bit more speculative trades at this point. Very cautious, be very, very cautious to the upside. If you're going to look to take any kind of a movement, if you're long, I'd look to take some profits right in or around this 1195 mark. If you want a speculative short spot, if you are somebody that likes to call tops and bottoms or tries to call tops and bottoms, this is the most logical place to look for that. Right here between 1196 to, I'm going to say, about 1206. 1196 to 1206. That would be the more staunch overhead resistance if we do find some sort of footing again for the bulls. I guess they don't really have to find their footing. They are in control right up here. But that would be the place to be looking to maybe take some profits and or move your stops up and or take some speculative shorts out. But boy, I'd be a small position. If you're going to do the shorts, great, but make it a small position. VIX on a daily, you can see here where yesterday we dipped below, moved back up. Today moved up and then came right back down again. Still up for the day, 4%. But overall, still trapped within this little wedge. Now, what do we see? Two holds here, a dip below it, and then push, whoosh, right up into it again to close there by the end of yesterday. So it does appear that it wants to hold this formation for the time being. Bigger moves up and over this area, and more importantly, closes up and over this area, are really what the bears in the market would be looking for. That would mean more fear coming into the market from an options standpoint. Here it is wandering around for the week. Let's see where it closes. Maybe Doji's out down here. And Apple on a 60-minute back up again, another $2.17. Can you say monster? Yep. So holding very nicely. Here's that blue line again. Probably change that over the weekend, but so far it's really worked very, very well. I really kind of like it actually. It's holding very nicely on this push. On this push to the upside, you can see how it's hitting the 20 and it's hitting the blue line, and it looks like it wants to spring from there back up over 302.50. Sure, why not? There's your intraday entry for maybe another long. Be very cautious. Yes, Apple can continue upwards here. There's no sky. I mean, there's no place to put your upper areas at this point. But you can see that the tiny little candles that it's putting in are some cause for concern. So watch very carefully over the next few days. You want to make sure it's going to hold that 300 mark since it's up and over that now. And then ultimately, you want it to hold 295 as well. From a weekly, looking good so far. Still looks like a high base formation. If there's any kind of a major crash tomorrow, that could change things. But we'll see what it looks like when we're done. As of right now, things look fine. FAS on a 60-minute. Here you saw a large move today. Once again, the banks being the biggest laggers of the day. And this whole, I guess it's foreclosure talks. Interesting how they picked today for the banks to have problems, since they've been talking about this foreclosure problem for how long now? How many days? How many weeks? Yeah, today happens to be the day. Anyway, point being, it did drop today. Now, we saw some moves up and above some of these upper areas, and as I've said, it's been very, very tough to trade these 3-time ETFs. We've been able to sneak some money here and there on moves up and moves down, but for the time being, this is what we see. Move up, consolidate, move up, consolidate, move up, and now a big drop. If you want to Elliott wave this thing to death, you can have this some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. I really don't care. Whatever. The fact is, it's all sideways, as is shown by the daily. So we broke above our symmetrical triangle, got our moves up and above 23, got a little move above 23.50, which really it was a play, but it didn't last very long because it hit this 24 overhead area I was telling you about, moved right back down, and then today we're right back to retest the top of that blue line. Straight volatility, guys. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago we were here. 8 days later we're here. sideways. And be very careful. So maybe this completed some sort of a move. I'd be very cautious. Back moves back below here though, and maybe that's 2150-ish or so. Back below about 2150. Now maybe you're looking at a short opportunity. Only from an intraday standpoint at this moment. I wouldn't be buying the farm on this little deal. Look at how perfectly it hit our overhead line. Love this. So we get a gap up today. Gaps up right to our support resistance line. Actually gaps up just above our support line. Ducks a little bit. Runs up, runs up, runs up into overhead resistance. This is your opportunity to take profits. And then moves right back down. So those of you that went in above 1250, 1260, that was my call there to the long side. You can see you made some money today. I hope you covered that. I hope you had some sort of a stop in place, and I hope you know how to manage these trades. Otherwise, yeah, if you got in above 1250, you still made money, but you should have made, at least a good 20-30 cents off that trade. From a daily perspective as well, you can see us kind of jumping back up here. My move was above 13. We did not make it. 1288. 1288 is like this blue line, red line now. This is 1288. This has been resistance support in the past. So still looking for a break above the 20-day. We did not get that. We got a tag of the 20-day. What was that? 1288. Go figure. Tagged it to the penny this time and moved back down. So profit targets were good, entries were good, opportunities were good. There was chances to make some money in FAS and FAZ from an day trader's perspective. I had it all laid out, had the support resistance in the right places here, followed suit exactly as would be expected. It was up to you to manage it once you're in it. Got to manage it once you're in it. So from a swing trader's perspective, though, you really want to break back above 13. Maybe we get that tomorrow, maybe we don't. Maybe we've completed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Maybe we haven't. Point is, we wait for confirmation. So wait for those areas to be broken. You should be good to go. All right, guys. I'll be back with you again tomorrow night for the weekend report, giving you some opportunities here for some chances, long and short. Be very cautious in the markets. I'd look more towards individual stocks as Apple, FAS, FAZ. Sign up for my newsletter if you want even more stock picks to choose from and a more detailed analysis of what's going on in the markets as I see it, along with other charts and other indices that I cover. $15 a month is that's cheap. You're going to spend that this weekend on McDonald's or going out and having a few drinks. So $15 a month, give it a shot. If you don't like it, stop the service. You're not obligated to stick with it. And we, regardless, we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.